So today I wanted to do a little chill day in the life, kind of what I've been doing over the summer, kind of a normal Saturday routine that I've been doing. And I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys along with me. So hello, welcome if you're new. My name's Holly. I'm a homesteading, homeschooling, frugal living mom of almost 5 kids. I am due with baby number 5 in about 4.5-ish weeks. So Saturday mornings have been kind of hectic and crazy. I wanted to kind of film today as one of the kind of more, I guess, slow going Saturdays that I've had in a while. It's been one of the only Saturdays I don't have a bunch of other things planned, so I wanted to do some fun things like get in my garden, make a little bread because I wanted to try out this new sandwich bread recipe, and do a bunch of other fun things. So of course I'm always starting with my coffee though. And I kind of decided to dress up a little bit today because I was feeling really unmotivated, and I feel like when I always look nice, it always helps me feel a little bit better about myself, and so I kind of got myself ready today to just tackle the day, so to speak. You can see how big our ducklings have gotten. It's amazing how quickly they've grown. And everyone's very excited for breakfast this morning, of course. So our chickens have been on a bit of a hiatus lately. We've only been getting a few eggs a day, but still enough for us to basically keep up with what our family eats. Of course, until I have family coming in town in the next week or so. So Saturday mornings, I try to do a little extra special breakfast. So this morning we made waffles. My kids love them. And it is a recipe I got from the Better Homes and Gardens in the 1950s. I think they're called Oh Boy waffles. Very good. Kids love them, and it's a good little treat for us to do in the summertime and just kind of on Saturdays when I have a little bit more time to do stuff. And as you can tell, my kids are obviously in the kitchen with me, and they will help. And every time I get the camera out, everybody wants to do something silly. Everybody wants to help. I try to have them take turns helping, but I think today everyone kind of got a chance to do a little something. Whether it's stirring or pouring in the ingredients, they all like to be a part of the process. And I always think it's good to let your kids, within reason, help out so that they're able to do the things and hopefully learn how to cook on their own. sometimes you have to hold a baby at the same time while you're cooking breakfast because somebody woke up a little grumpy. She just needed a little extra love in the morning. I didn't realize how goofy my kids were being in the background. Oh well, you know, they like the camera too apparently. And Kiva gives it a thumbs up. She was very excited to have her waffles. Alright, so I'm trying out this. I will try to link the recipe below for you guys. This actually turned out pretty good. I was really proud of myself. I'm trying to find a good sandwich bread recipe. So the bread that my daughter can have, because we like the pre-bought bread that doesn't have a bunch of soy in it, has like gone up to $3 a loaf. And so I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm hoping to find a good sandwich bread recipe that I can make from scratch on my own for obviously a lot less than that. And this one was actually pretty good, so I'm hoping to make it a few more times and see if we can maybe, instead of buying, you know, expensive $3 bread, we can just make this, which, I mean, gosh, it would have been at least half that because I buy flour in bulk now and pretty much all my ingredients in bulk, so it kind of worked out really well. It was kind of sticky at first, but I added a little bit more flour and it seemed to really help, and then just kneaded it really well, but it was a really good recipe, and the bread turned out delicious. It took about, I think, 3 hours total to bake. Of course, you have to let it rise for basically 2 hours. So that's its initial rise, and then I'll be putting it in the loaf pans a little bit later. Just gonna do a quick tidy up. One of the things I always do every single day, even if I don't clean the rest of the house, is make our bed and just kind of get everything organized so that I feel like I've at least gotten one thing done. So far, I've been able to do okay keeping up with my routines, but I would say the summer's been really hard for me to stay on track with things because we've just been so busy between extracurricular events and church events, and we also did a couple VBSs this summer. It was just a lot, and I think if I had to do it over again, I probably would try not to do as much, but of course, I really wanted my kids to have a good summer too, so I've been kind of putting up with it, so to speak. I'm heading out to the garden to water it and do a little bit of weeding. My garden has not done very well at all this year. I basically have some tomatoes and zucchinis that are just now starting to grow here in August, and so I'm kind of a little disappointed in how our garden's turned out, but I'm hoping maybe next year when I'm not heavily pregnant and able to kind of put more effort into it, I'm hoping for a better turnout. So, I mean, this has all been a learning experience. I'm trying not to get too discouraged because I really want to take it as a learning experience as opposed to not, so to speak. But I'm hoping next year will be a better yield. The weather also was really terrible this year compared to what we have had in the past, because it was still cold and rainy up until like mid to end of June. So it was really hard for us to kind of get much to grow because it wasn't getting as much sun as I feel like it should. And I always throw the weeds in because the chickens and the goats absolutely love them for some silly reason. So here's my tomatoes, a few wildflowers. And the strawberries, we have one. We've gotten a few strawberries, but the animals generally get to them before we can. I netted the raspberries, but I did not net the strawberries this year. I think this is a cauliflower plant or broccoli, and yeah, just nothing is really growing yet. It looks healthy on the outside, it just doesn't look like anything's really growing, which is kind of making me a little sad. But you know what? It's all learning. Next year will hopefully be better. So I decided, since it is definitely slim pickings and it's definitely at the end of the summer, you can tell because all the flowers, all our wildflowers are starting to go away, but I was able to get some foxgloves and some field daisies picked to kind of make a small bouquet, because I really love in the summertime to just pick some flowers, bring them into the house, kind of freshen up the house, make the house feel a lot more springy, summery. So I went around my property. I tried to find as many as I could that were still in relatively decent shape to basically make a small bouquet. Brought in my wildflowers and decided to try to make a little bouquet. It was definitely not my best work. I can definitely tell that we don't have as many flowers to work with as we used to, so it was really hard kind of keeping it looking nice and put together. But you know what? That's the fun thing about wildflowers, is they aren't perfect, and that's what makes them fun for me. Alright, so we have, it's doubled in size, and now I'm moving on to put it in the loaf pans. It was really fun. I'm definitely going to try to make this recipe again soon, and hopefully it'll turn out just as good as it did the first time. Do you ever have that issue where, like, one recipe you do it once and it turns out amazing, the next time you try it doesn't so much? Well, I'm hoping that that's not the case here. So just kind of roll it into a little bit of a loaf and then throw it in the loaf pans, and I'm going to let it rise for another hour. Now Corbin's helping Daddy feed our meat chickens. They got basically one more week before we process them, and I'm looking forward to having some fresh chicken in our freezer. He's such a good helper. Looks like Kiva wanted to help too. Bread is now ready to go in the oven. I'm really excited for how it turned out. And like I said, it was pretty simple. It's a lot of, do a few steps, then you wait an hour, do a few steps, you wait an hour. So it does take a long time, but it didn't seem to take a lot of effort, I should say. Nice and golden brown on top. So giving it a try with some fresh butter. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me for this slow summer day, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.